with Sonny Hollywood Pony
Casada, you suck.
and the man, the myth, the legend, Joey Casada. Oh my God. Anyway, so we wanted to give you guys a live update on everything that we've been doing for the past 4 days. And I guess let's start with day one. Day one was Thursday. There was a band playing with this guy on the drums. And
Brutal. I would have changed out the drummer.
I
Everybody
thought-
else was great.
I thought it was amazing. I will tell you, it was emotional. They played a tribute to Ace that was 4 or 5 minutes long. A lot of tears. I saw people crying. I'm just not going to mention any names, but except for my own, it made me cry.
Tributes to Ace all week.
Tributes to Ace all week long. Joey performed. So there was the Ace Frehley band first. They had a great time. They did very well. It was a lot of fun to see. Then Joey jammed and did the Alive, basically most of the Alive show.
So
Like half.
the Ace band played a great tribute for Ace. Super rare cuts, lots of great stuff. Very emotional night for those guys. A little closure. I think it was good for everybody. Scotty Coogan on drums, which is incredible. Scotty left. I jumped up. A little break in between. We did most of the Alive record. We were going to do the whole record, but we couldn't do all of it, obviously, because we added the Ace tribute. So that was such a great set to do a live in almost in its entirety. Little break, and then we did some auctions for Kiss Cancer Goodbye, and then the Handsome Devils got up, and we did super rare cuts. You know, we kind of do that middle Kiss period. We do the Elder, we do Lick It Up, we do Creatures. We did a little bit of Animalize, which I posted today. So we did a lot of super rare cuts. Pre-party, I think, was just killer. Went off without a hitch. We did a big toast, world's largest toast to Ace Frehley. Everyone got a little champagne flute with Ace's logo on it. It was just a great night, the way to kick off the event.
Absolutely, and that nobody left unhappy. I can honestly say, and I say that, but everybody walked out with big smiles on their face. They had a great time. The Handsome Devil, everybody was talking about your set list and how nuts it was as far as like deep cuts went, and that was, I mean, you can't do any better than that. If the Handsome Devils go on tour, make sure that you get a chance to go and see them.
Sonny's going to be there.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So
the other thing about the club, what was cool was, you know, if you paid for a seat, you got a seat. It was a great seat. It was right in front of the band, which was great. But if you were just general admission, that club, maybe 250, 300 people?
I think it was a 400-seat capacity, but there were seats. So the seats obviously take up a lot of that room.
Yeah.
So I think there was probably only about 300 people there, but everywhere in the place was a great seat.
Yeah. So, I mean, I just paid cheap general admission seat. I saw the bands great, heard them great, so it was awesome.
had a great time. And
Dr. McGee came down for a little while. He was there hanging out with us, so he was very impressed by the night. He really loved it.
And I also want to mention that Neil Davis, who runs Kiss Cancer Goodbye, we raised a lot of money. They were auctioning things off, and there was actually one guy that was outbidding himself and went just so that he can donate a lot of money. And then when he won the item at I think it was like $3,000, he bumped it up to $5,000, I believe, that's amazing. That's generous and perfect. Let's go ahead to Friday. Friday happens. It's basically, I got married.
Oh, that little thing.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. So
You ain't never seen somebody cry so much. Joe Boohoo Polo.
But it was a beautiful, beautiful event. I know. Listen, it was Kiss themed. We went to the Kiss mini golf hotel at the Rio, and it was just a great event. He had a great, I guess, minister. Would you call him?
Yes. I think his name, I believe, is Steve, and he's usually he's a very muscular looking man. And he normally
his chest was weirdly out. It was a little inappropriate.
Normally he's the guy. He dresses like Paul Stanley to do these things. I, by the way, put the kibosh on that because I was not going to get married by a guy that looked better than me, which he still did. But
just so you know, he put the kibosh on that. But it was so funny because the minister, they're up there. It's a beautiful ceremony. But then there'd be these little twists where he would start quoting. He would literally quote lines from Metallica and lines from Sonic Boom, the song Stand, and it was awesome and a little weird at the same time. GNR, right?
Yeah. And it was really great. And Karen's holding the camera right now. She filmed that entire concert for you guys last night, and so I know a bunch of you guys were thanking her for doing so. And like I said, I married a good one. Okay, so we got married, then we showed up here to the hotel. It was time to see
Acoustic.
the acoustic show, and it was a lot of the same.
So listen, we always talk about, oh, what is Kiss going to do? How are they going to do? Are they going to do things different, or are they going to phone it in? I'm going to listen. We're honest, right? We're the number one Kiss podcast in the universe.
In the
because
universe,
we are honest. And listen, we saw the guys from Three Sides here. I punched Giacchini in the stomach. I had Brandvold in a headlock. They don't have anything on us. So we're the number one podcast in the world, universe, galaxy, whatever you want to call it. But what happens, we're honest. So I will tell you, the acoustic show left me wanting more. It was pretty much Kiss Unplugged, almost cover to cover, with a couple songs. They did Lover All I Can, and they did Hide Your Heart, which were great. And that was a little bit of a taste, like kind of just like a little bit to wet our beaks, to get us excited. Maybe they're going to pull out some rare stuff for the electric set. They sounded really good. I think everyone was a little fatigued. Gene was a little hoarse. They played well, but I thought it was a little lethargic. What do you think?
I agree. I think that Gene did sound a little hoarse. I think one of the things that I love about these cruise pre-shows, like acoustic shows, is the banter between Gene and Paul. And Tommy's usually dead silent, but Eric usually picks on Gene, and they were picking on each other, and it's pretty brutal. Some of it was pretty brutal, but that made it fun. Gene was a little hoarse, and it made me a little nervous, because I was like, damn, they're playing tomorrow. I really hope that we get the Demon, and but I thought, I wanted something different. I got pretty much what I'm used to, but it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. What do you think? Now, Sonny will call us liars.
No, I thought the acoustic set was good. I liked a couple of songs they put in. Gene's voice was a little hoarse. It was a little lethargic. They're in their 70s, right? They weren't sitting down. They were standing up. They were not on stools or anything. So
But
that
I
was
thought
good.
even the crowd was a
Yeah.
little lethargic too.
Yeah.
I think it's partly our fault, partly their fault. I think it was a good ease into the weekend, if you want to call it.
It didn't have the same excitement as a sail away acoustic set. We're ready to go somewhere
Right.
today.
Right.
We were like standing on
Yeah.
the lawn, and these guys were playing acoustic.
And
different.
it was fine. We're not saying it was bad. It was good.
Yeah.
That's the perfect word for it. It was good. It wasn't fantastic. It wasn't like mind blowing. It was good.
Yeah. And before that happened, there was another basic moment of silence for Ace Frehley.
Yep.
They went around and handed out these light up candles, and I don't know how many people were out there. It had to have been 1,000.
Couple thousand, yeah.
Yeah, and everybody had a candle. And Paul Stanley came out. I don't know why I said Stanley. You know who I'm talking about. Well, he came out and he basically talked about Ace, and said, let's have a moment of silence for Ace. And literally 1,000 people held up their candles, just like that. And I'm sure you guys possibly have seen the video. It was very touching. And I just thought that was a really nice touch. Touch.
And I'll tell you, I've talked to a couple of people that have been around the band the last couple of days, did some pictures of the band the last couple of days, and these people have done pictures of the band forever. And they're talking about the band seems looser, feels more like a family, feels like they're talking a little bit more, they're a little more vulnerable, they seem a little more together. That doesn't surprise me, right? You lose somebody, you think you're invincible, nobody's ever going to go anywhere. And then you lose somebody, and all of a sudden, you're mortal. Right? And it's like, oh my God, this could happen anytime. Got to enjoy it while we can.
Yeah.
And what I'm hearing is the band's feeling that way, which I think that's great.
Even Paul said, he did not skate around the fact that he and Ace had some problems. He even said, we've had our moments, and then he said, like family does. And that's true.
Yeah.
I've got family I don't even talk to, and they're close.
But listen, at the end of the day, family is family. And I think the whole weekend so far has been a great tribute for Ace. He's getting respected in the way he's supposed to be respected, whether it's just them talking about him in interviews, paying tribute on stage, paying tribute before that acoustic show. Everything is being done the right way. I think Pop House is doing a phenomenal job. I think Kiss is doing a phenomenal job of honoring Ace and kind of continuing the legacy at the same time. It's not this somber mood, which I think we were all worried about. We don't want this was going to be such a celebration, and then Ace passed, and I think we were all a little worried that this was just going to be like a somber Memorial weekend, and it hasn't been. There's been enough tribute where it's respectful and honoring Ace, but still it's a party atmosphere.
Yes, absolutely. I will also say that everything that came after that for the rest of the day, it's been so much fun. Friday was amazing. Um, let's talk about
Yesterday.
Yeah.
Saturday.
Saturday. But also the tribute bands. I want to say the tribute bands have been spectacular. The Kiss Nation
Mr. Speed.
and Mr. Speed were great, and they both
Quarantine was great.
Quarantine was amazing. There are some. There's been quite a few panels, and we learned some stuff in those panels. That was yesterday, right? Or was it Friday?
I think that panel was yesterday.
Yesterday,
So it was a lot of people from Pop House, and it was Doc, and it was people from Topeka, kind of talking about the future of Kiss. And they went into great detail about the avatars, how it really is a 2-year process. They showed us some images. I don't know if they leaked online yet or not, but they showed us some really cool images of
Paul
Star
Child.
side by side. One of them being the avatar, one of them being the real Paul, and you really could not tell the difference. So I think we're in for a treat with that stuff. And then they went into talking about the biopic, which is still being developed. There's a screenplay. There's a director on board. They didn't cast the show yet, so that's going to be, me being a TV guy, and that's at least a couple years, 3, 4, 5 years, I think, in the future. But the End of the Road doc,
It's done.
looks like it's
it just
done.
needs to get released.
Yep, I don't. Did they give it the release date?
They didn't.
They did not.
But it looks. They showed us like a preview
it's
of
done.
it, like a trailer almost, and it looks great. It's almost what I wanted. Listen, everyone knows I've been very critical of that last few concerts at Madison Square Garden. I wanted emotion. I wanted celebration. I wanted realism rather than just phoning it in. And listen, I'm going to hold true. I don't think we got those few nights. But from what I saw about the trailer, you see some of the behind the scenes stuff, and you see these guys. Maybe they are emotional. Did they show it in those? It's hard. Maybe it's hard to show emotion from a stage. I was up in the rafters, 20,000 people. It's hard to read emotion from a stage all the way, down below. So, but the doc really looked like it was emotional. It looked like it was behind the scenes, kind of ripping the curtain away, ripping that Superman curtain away to see what went on that tour.
Yeah. I will tell you that I did have a meeting with Pop House yesterday, along with the entire Pop House group, and there's a lot of stuff coming, a lot of cool stuff. Stay tuned. It's a great time to be a Kiss fan. Unfortunately, I can't tell you what, but I will tell you that I do not think that you're going to be disappointed, because as they were telling us, we were getting excited. Let's go ahead to last night. We saw Quarantine.
Yeah, so Quarantine.
Awesome.
Quarantine kicks off the night. Obviously, that bum Chris Jericho. I love him. What a great band. Charlie Parra, Joe McGinnis, Kent Slucher, PJ Farley. Killer band celebrating the unmasked, Kiss years, the Bruce era of Kiss. They just released their new single, Unholy. They're phenomenal. It's all about party Kiss, and Jericho says it the best. It's about that party version of Kiss where they were cursing on stage, talking about sex and rock and roll. People throw panties on the stage. They're throwing bras on the stage. They're wearing all these neon colors. It's fun. It's just a fun atmosphere. It feels like watching the Animalize or the Asylum tour.
Yeah, it was great. That's I think the 4th or 5th time I've seen them. Awesome.
Yeah.
Sonny and I, obviously being the #1 Kiss podcast in the universe, we get certain perks. Sonny and I were front row. We didn't ask Joe to go.
Yeah.
He kind of screwed us over.
I did
again,
get a
and
bra.
We'll talk about that another time.
I got a bra.
And Sonny, we'll post a picture. Sonny had a bra on his head, almost like in Weird Science when they kind of summon Kelly LeBrock. It was a wonderful moment. We were partying in the front row. Jericho's cursing us out. He throws Sonny the bra. It was just a great night.
I have a picture of it, literally with it on his head, and that may be the thumbnail for this actual uh, show. Okay, after that, Sebastian Bach came on. I will say that, in my opinion, first of all, I love Sebastian. One of the strongest singers ever in rock and roll history. But I will say that I thought the sound was kind of muddy at the beginning. It seemed to clear up a little bit as it went on. But I love what Bass totally commands that stage. He walks like he's got a set on him that are ginormous with his legs open, and he just has this whole I'm a badass, and he can sing, man. And I really enjoyed that. What do you think?
No, he listen. His band was great. He was great. I know some insider sound issue stuff. So Quarantine sound guy actually was the guy who did the Revenge tour. He did some Kiss tours, and he was phenomenal. Baz might have had his own sound guy or an in-house guy. The sound was a little different. He still sounded great, but it didn't sound like an arena. Where I thought Quarantine sounded more like an arena,
and it was cleaner.
Yeah.
It was cleaner. There was a lot more separation.
It was a different vibe, but
Yeah.
it was still great. That he performed great. He still can sing. Energy on stage. Band was great. Fun time.
And Sonny has nothing to say about that. And
I could tell you, but then I can't untell you. So I'll leave
Right.
it at that.
Okay, now how about this? They did do a tribute to Ace. What did they play? Shock
Shock Me,
Me.
yeah,
They
Shock
played
Me.
Shock Me.
Yeah.
And the guitar player, you could tell, is an Ace Frehley fan, not just because he was wearing an Ace shirt, but when it came time to play Shock Me, he got a little more swag. He had a lot of swagger. It's a stage presence with this. I don't know how old this guy is. He seemed younger, but he got up on. He was on
Well,
that.
he can't be young forever. He's older now.
Yeah, I mean, he's not.
He's not gonna be like 17 for the rest of his life.
No, but all right, I'll just move on.
But
But
then listen. So we get to the headliner.
who is that?
This band we know called. I think their name is. It stands for Knights in Satan's Service. That's what
Yes.
I've heard.
Yes.
in
That's
the
what I heard.
past. But so listen. This is what we've all been waiting for, right? We're waiting for what is Kiss going to do. End of the road came. Last show came. Would we ever even see them live again? We didn't know. So we don't know what to expect. And coming off that acoustic show where we kind of got the same old stuff. I'm going to tell you, I mean, again, I'm honest. I was worried. I was like, okay, this is probably they're going to probably phone it in. It's probably going to be the same old stuff. And I will tell you, backtracking off that last Madison Square Garden show, one of the better Kiss concerts I've ever seen. I thought they were loose. They were fun. They were on fire. What I saw, especially from Paul, and I know Gene has done shows with his solo band recently. Paul felt like, and I saw it a little bit in the acoustic show. You got to remember, these guys are rock stars for 50 years. They're performing for 50 years, constantly on the road. More than likely, and I'd have to go deeper into it, this was probably the longest break they've ever had since they're 20 years old without performing live,
Quite
especially a guy
possibly,
like
yes.
Paul. And Paul, you could tell, was fiending off that energy. It was giving him life. And I thought Paul, and everyone was great, but Paul especially, and listen, I've spoken ill about Paul's performances in the past that I didn't like, and just because I'm honest, I thought Paul was phenomenal. I thought he was youthful. I thought his vocals were great. From what I could tell, no tracks, no click track, no backing tracks, no nothing. It was Kiss live, uncensored, fun, and the set list was phenomenal.
Yeah, it was actually better than the acoustic set. The guys sounded great plugged in. The stage set was awesome. The minute the curtain dropped,
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God, we kind of got a new stage set. And then to hear Doc say today, he didn't know what the stage set was going to look like when they went out. And Paul had questions about what are we walking out to? And Doc was just go with it. And what a great show. And one of the better times that I have seen Kiss live over the last 20 years for sure.
And to top it off, the show is great. They're having a good time up there. Paul brought a little. I couldn't tell from where I was. I think it was a little girl on stage, and he was playing with her, and it was a lot of fun.
Playing guitar.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
Good
yes.
Lord.
Edit
We're
that out.
live, dude.
Edit that out. Anyway, and
We have an audience. shaking
they
their
know
head.
what I mean. Anyway, he brought her up on stage. It was really a nice moment to see a kid up there. And then they started playing "Lick It Up," and all of a sudden, there's Bruce Kulick on the stage playing "Lick It Up." So there's 5 members jamming electric on that stage. It was great. Paul, remembered to point out.
Well, so Paul, listen, I don't know for sure, but I think Bruce was supposed to be introduced, grand with this big grand entrance, and I think just with production wise and song wise, and just caught up in the moment, they almost forgot to introduce Bruce. And Bruce kind of came out, and all of a sudden, Bruce was just playing "Lick It Up" on stage, and this is a big moment. This is the first time electric set. But after the end of the road, we don't know if this is going to work. Is Kiss Electric live on stage in the future a thing? Could it be a thing without makeup, without the bombs? Because there was no bombs, no fire, no explosions.
No coming out to the crowd.
No coming
nothing.
out to the crowd.
No
it
blood.
was just Kiss Electric, and this is the Kiss of the future. And then the 5th member of Kiss being Bruce coming out. I thought it was going to be this big grand thing, but he kind of just snuck out on stage, and I think it was probably planned that they were going to do this, but maybe it was a little bit miscommunication. I wish Bruce made a grander entrance, and I think he deserved a grander entrance. But overall, Bruce sounded great. I thought it was very natural seeing all of them together.
Yes.
And I'm a firm believer, and I don't care what they say. I think that's the show we all want to see in the future, whether it's on the cruise, whether it's on the next cruise, and we'll talk about what they announced about that, whether it's a one-off or a residency. Why not add Bruce to the mix? It doesn't matter if there's a 4-person Kiss anymore. There's no costumes. There's no
Maine
rules.
does it.
The
Maine
rules are
does it.
done.
Yeah, 5 people.
Bruce should be part of Kiss full time. I'm putting it out there. Doc, you know where to find me.
My only thing last night was the last 2 songs were "Lick It Up" and "Rock and Roll All Night," and that's when Bruce jumped on. I wish it would have been Detroit Rock City and "Rock and Roll All Night," because "Lick It Up" doesn't need 5 guys on stage doing, and
I wish it was a Bruce song. Why not do "Tears Are Falling" or something, right?
You could have done a Bruce song.
They did
too.
"Hide Your Heart" in the acoustic set.
That's
Why
right.
not do "Hide Your Heart"? But
You want them in the end,
of course.
right? So you got to do 2 big songs at the end. "Do You Love Me" probably doesn't work, so it's got to probably be "Love Gun," Detroit Rock City.
Yeah.
One of the 2, and then you end with "Rock and Roll All Night."
But if anyone, if you're curious about what the set list was, we have the full show posted on our YouTube channel. Our lovely producer, Javier, who's holding the camera right now, also known as Mrs. Polo,
Get out of here.
recorded the whole show. So it's live on our YouTube page now. I don't even want to give the set list away, but there's some really fun, deep tracks, especially when they kicked into the second track.
Yeah.
I won't give it away. It was "Take Me," the second song.
Yeah.
Once they did that, we were up. I was up in the VIP section, and all the artists were there. Everyone exploded because it wasn't that we were hearing "Take Me." It was that we knew we were in for a good night.
Yes.
We knew
Yeah.
once they did "Take Me," now there was the handcuffs were off. We could do anything. Anything was about to happen, and it did.
My reaction was almost 30 to 45 seconds delayed because I'm like, what song are they doing?
Yes.
Because they started with Deuce, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, maybe they're going to Strutter or something. I'm like, wait a second, what song is that? Right? And it took me a minute. I'm like, oh my God, they're doing this.
great.
When you're watching the video, keep in mind they did not let us bring a tripod in. So Karen literally held the camera for an hour and a half. It's on here. Watch it. It was great. I think the sound is pretty good. Last night, at one point, I think there were 400 people watching it all at once,
Awesome.
and from all over the world. Because when it was going on this coast, it was like 9 o'clock at night. Was it about 9 to 10?
Yeah.
10 o'clock at night. So everywhere, it was 1 o'clock on the East Coast, and we still had people that were watching because they were so excited.
All over the world.
All over the world,
watching, yeah.
and people were very excited. 99% of the people were excited. Of course, you're going to get your, naysayers. Also, I will tell you that we did get the chance to see 3 sides of the coin. They did a show. They did their own podcast. And now one of the things that we find very interesting is the fact that Mike Brandvold actually beat up a little kid to get some of our merch. That's kind of mess. And then sent us a message bragging about how he had our merch.
It is true. We give to the needy, we give to the poor. And we were handing out thousands and thousands of pieces of merch to all the little children all over Las Vegas. We were walking around town handing it to everyone because we are that giving. And we saw Mike Brandville from Three Sides of the Coin actually shoving children like George Costanza getting out of the fire to get our merch.
And he already put it on eBay.
And this guy's a human piece of garbage. So
Unbelievable.
listen, Brandville, if you need something, just call me. I'll send it to you for the right price. You send me, give me your credit card.
Well, you can buy it on eBay now.
Of course.
Look at that.
How could he do this to the children of Las Vegas?
I will tell you that, of course, the best thing about that show is Lisa, and we can all sit and just watch. Tommy comes in second.
Yeah, Tommy is weird. He's a weirdly.
That's a default.
He's a
That's
weirdly
only one
attractive
spot
man
left.
up close. He's weirdly attractive.
All kidding aside, they did a great job. There was lots of people there to see them, and that was amazing. It was great.
No, it was a great show.
It was great to see podcasting getting love because the truth is that we're kind of underground.
And listen, everyone who thinks we're serious, if you think we're serious, you're an idiot. We're having fun. We love each other. We're all fun.
I hope you're watching live.
There's
You're
no
an idiot.
rivalries between us. There's no any of this stuff. They love us. We don't love them. That's the way it works.
I don't love all of them. I just want to make sure that's out there. Okay, so that bring.
We have some questions.
Okay, shoot.
When is the mud wrestling with Joey and Sonny?
It was last night, or
Yeah.
technically this morning at 1:15, right after we played roulette.
So what happened was we played roulette, and then we moved over to we didn't do great, but we didn't lose big either. We moved over to the blackjack table. Now, Sonny's on the end. I'm right before Sonny. So Sonny has the power to take cards basically to ruin the table. And so I don't have a great hand, but I'm okay. The dealer looks like they're not going to do good. Sonny has 2 sevens.
This is a true story. I want you to know that. This is true.
I took a picture of this at the end of this hand. So Sonny has 2 sevens, which is an absolute garbage hand. It's 14 garbage. And I say to him, I just know we're both Striper fans. By the way, he gave me a beautiful Striper van, which I made sweet love to him for doing that. But anyway,
In the mud.
in the mud, yes. But with the sevens, he had 2 sevens, and I said to him, I just know somehow you're gonna get the third 7, the third 777 for Striper, and you're gonna get 21. You're gonna crush my hand. You're gonna make the dealer beat me, and you're gonna get paid out. Sure enough, bing bang boom,
7.
777. Dealer loses to Sonny, beats me, and we pour the mud and we go at it.
Yes. And I will tell you that during that match, somebody there's a run-in. If you're familiar with professional wrestling, that run-in means that somebody came and Sonny had Matt Porter on his team, and they were all 3 in the mud. And the truth is, at the end, I had to disqualify everybody.
Just so you know, I won. Okay. There's a chance, Sonny's fingers entered in weird spots, but we're not going to talk about that.
Okay. So,
Are we live?
Karen? Yes.
There's 72 people watching.
She's got another question.
They want to know when is anything for my baby?
Oh, you're making that question up. It's a lie.
It's going to be live tonight.
In
What
less
time?
than 4 hours.
Live Kiss karaoke tonight. There's a chance Joe will be doing anything for my baby, and there's a chance I will be singing Sonny, I Hear You Calling, but I can't come home right now. A couple more of these I will be on.
Okay, so today we went and we watched Doc McGee give a talk. We watched Bob Ezrin.
with Chris
Wow,
Jericho.
Bob looked
and
great.
Bob looked great. Yes.
Bob looked great.
Bruce Kulick and Bob Ezrin had a little Q&A. It was great. And Chris is so smart. He and I hate him, but he's very smart. He's very knowledgeable in the Kiss world, just like all of us homers. And he's
a great interviewer too.
He's talking about, he's asking the right questions about the Elder, and then jumping to Revenge, and working with Eric Carr, and then working with Eric Singer. How did they find the drummer for Revenge? And there was just really smart questions. I'm sure I'm assuming that's posted online somewhere.
Yeah, I'm sure. It is.
It was just a great interview. We got some really great, deep insight knowledge from Bob Ezrin about some of the recordings of Revenge, some of the recordings of Destroyer, some of the recordings of The Elder. And I just thought it was great. And Bruce kind of gave his insight on some of Carnival of Souls and Revenge. It was great.
Yeah. There was also another with Eddie Kramer. There was another one, and the stuff that we learned during that was crazy. I never knew there was a mountain that was hollowed out that they keep tons of music in just to keep it safe. And from what I understood, if I remember correctly, it's a place where they stored like nuclear material.
I wonder if they did that after the Universal fire. Is that why?
I remember
that Universal
hearing about this.
fire
Where
wiped
is that?
out a
Is
lot
it
of
in
stuff.
Montana or something? Where is
Something
it?
like that. But they did mention also, that was a question, that none of the Kiss tapes were ruined
During the Universal
during the fire.
Okay.
They were not there. But that was amazing. They talked about Ace singing, and basically he laid on the floor. He was so nervous. He sang, then he sat up, he sang
Is
again.
that how we're doing Anything for My Baby Tonight?
Yes.
Are we doing backing vocals? What's the plan here?
You're supposed
Oh,
to do
sure.
backing.
Do we have the?
I'm gonna go. I would steal.
Anything for my baby.
Exactly. See, it's gonna be just like that. Only not as good of a performance out of me. And yeah, so he said every time he sang it, he got a little more confident. He said by the end, he was holding the microphone and singing. I mean, I can't imagine Ace being like that, but still, that's a like you would say, a beautiful story.
This was supposed to be 10 minutes.
10 minutes. Good Lord, there's just so much to cram in there.
I mean, to wrap it up, I mean, listen, I think it's been a super successful weekend. I think starting with the pre-party all the way through the Kiss Electric set. Obviously, tonight is a big night too. Probably maybe the night I'm looking forward to the most is the Bruce Kulick set. I can't wait. Kiss is going to do a Q&A.
Well, they're doing it right now.
Oh, is it after 6?
Yeah, 6
we
o'clock.
got to sign off because we got to go to the Kiss
Yes.
Q&A. They started right now. Bruce Kulick is right after that. But overall, it's been a great event. They did talk about the next cruise. Doc hinted that it could be a European cruise. So for anyone out there in Europe or hard time getting over to the U.S., they're possibly looking at a European cruise next year. Nothing is confirmed, but it's been rumored.
Yes, it could be anything. I guess
go see Kiss.
that's pretty much it. Love you guys. Thanks for watching. That's Sonny. That's Joey. I'm Joe. And we're Podcast Roxy. We'll see you. 3, 2, 1. Peace.
Number 1.